What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video. In today's video, we're going over the episode 2 of the Pro Series. I got my boys Ellie here and my boy Bando. They're going to help us kind of go through the spawns and all that good stuff. So let's get this match started, man. So how we're going to go through this video, we're going to break it down into sections. We're going to break it down into map knowledge, which is going to be your aerial knowledge, objects in the map that you're going to see. So things like head glitches, places to lay down and hide, cars to hide behind, what cars are shootable through, what part of those cars are shootable through. All these things we're going to break down in the first half. Second half, we're going to break down spawns. I'm going to go through each individual spawn. That's why I got the boys over here to help me with it. We're going to see exactly what spawns are where, the best strategy for taking out spawns, and also spawns you don't want to interact with when you're playing the game. Things you want to stay away from, you don't want to be a part of, that can cause you to lose your streak. And then the last half, we're going to go over the best way to aim coming around corners and understanding that and kind of getting an idea of like what corners you want to push and what corners you want to stay away from, because you don't want to push certain corners because certain corners are going to leave you exposed to the elements of other players and you don't want that to happen. So we're going to start off with Shoe House. I think you can take knowledge from Shoe House and you can pretty much spread it through any other map in the game. If you guys want me to do breakdowns of every map, let it down in the comments below, all that good stuff. But for the main part of this series, I want to focus on small details, because too much detail can overwhelm you as a player and force you to lose knowledge that could be used elsewhere. So one important thing to memorize about MW2, unlike most CODs that we have in the past couple of years, MW2 relies heavily on bullet ammunition. So like things that aren't like armor piercing or FMJ won't actually affect your guns that much. Okay, and so in past CODs, for example, Vanguard, things were destroyable. So really didn't matter what ammo type you ran because the guns did the same damage. So in this game, it's a little different. There is some differences with FMJ. It's not a lot, but there is some. So if your gun that you're using doesn't feel like it's going through walls a lot, go back to the previous video like I've recorded yesterday. There should be a link at the end of this video for that. But you can go back and look at that. We went over class developments and how to do classing. And you'll kind of get a better understanding of the ammo types and how they're used. Because I did briefly go over them before. But let's go off the idea, the basis, that you don't have an ammo type on your gun. What do you do then? So it depends on where you spawn. So we spawned over here. I believe this is A spawn, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played Domination on Shoe House, but there's one thing to note. This big giant block right in front of me is completely impenetrable. Okay, nothing, including FMJ rounds, will penetrate this block of tire/wood. Okay, so use this to your advantage. I like to do a rotational basis. When I'm capturing a flag, I'll rotate around this pillar. And what that does, you have about 2.3 to 0.4 seconds to leave the flag, rotate around, and continue capturing the flag. Okay. If you take any longer than 3 seconds, though, you will have to, it will end up resetting the flag. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. But that's the best option, because if you're seeing right here is where the flag would be. If this flag is capturing, right, you are exposed from not only your left flank, but your right flank, as well as above, because someone could easily just mount up on this ledge right here and snuck over and hit you before you could even see what's coming. So keep that in mind. If you use this rotate, though, so you capture the flag a little bit, rotate around, give you kind of a little bit of breathing room, and you can go back and continue capturing. Obviously, this will be a little different in the next Call of Duty title, because we do have an item called I think it's called the AVS or whatever, that allows you to capture an objective without actually being on the objective. So that's going to obviously change how you play the map, but that'll be something that can be broken down once the game is fully launched. So we'll start on this side of the map and we'll move our way over. This half of the map is pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot of head glitches on the left-hand side of the map. Right-hand side, a lot more open places, a lot more angles, a lot more routes. This left side, for some reason, when they developed the map, was a lot more CQB style. So there's a lot more head glitches. So when pushing this objective, you will often see me, if you watch my streams, play. I will hold this angle that I am holding right now, because this angle is completely impenetrable except for the head. Okay, you cannot be shot through these concrete blocks. Now, which is confusing, because later on you'll see that there is some concrete blocks in certain locations you can shoot through, which is very confusing. Why these concrete blocks are stronger than others beats me, but developers, they make sense all the time. This head glitch is great. There is one flaw. So I don't like to hold this head glitch for too long for one big simple reason. The left. Now, if you're playing with a team of 6 and you guys are playing competitively and you guys are communicating, working as a team, your left side here actually might not be an issue, because if you have, you most likely want to have another person down here in the junkyard, which will be the next location we head to, and that area will be the pinnacle of the map. You can control shoot house from any side as long as you have the garage. If you have the junkyard, sorry. If you have junkyard, you control the map. The simple reason is that junkyard is the main route of the map. A lot of misconceptions about shoot house are that the center of the map is the main route, the sniping route. But right there's your answer on why it's not the main route, because everyone's sniping from the center. If everyone's sniping that direction, right, and everyone's sniping this direction, there is no way to go in between these routes. And you'll see this a lot of times on main lobbies. If you go in and just spectate how the players are playing, a lot of times, if there is someone on these head glitches, the routes in the middle become a ghost land, almost like a no man's land, because there's nothing in the middle to protect you from a sniper across the map. Now, there is ways, and we'll go into this a little later, how you can progress pushing these snipers up close from the middle. There's almost like a snake zigzag strategy that you can use, but that's a little bit more complex because it requires you to have knowledge of the entire map as a whole. So we'll go back over here. So pushing this middle left side here, you'll see that there is 2 windows to my left. And if I push out a few inches, there's a little water gallon thing. Now, both these two things have in common is they are both weaknesses for you, okay? But they can also benefit you. So these walls that I am shooting here are all not bulletproof. I guess a better word would be non-bulletproof. So you can shoot through all these wooden walls. A lot of people don't take advantage of this. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten nukes or gotten quad feeds by just shooting through these walls when I see someone go in the building. Okay. I strongly suggest, if you're going to do this, that you're running this map with a heavier rifle, so like a Scar, a M4, because this map really excels in those heavy assault rifles that are doing a lot of damage, low recoil, and a lot of fire rate downrange. SMGs run really well in this map, but you're going to lose some of the benefits that we're going over. So you're not going to be able to do as much damage to a wall as you normally would. So keep that in mind as you're progressing. So say someone's pushing you from the right. What is the right predicament to do? I would say hold the edge of this building. This edge of this building should be at least 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters behind your left hand. So your character's holding the gun right-handed. All characters in Call of Duty hold right-handed guns, okay? Don't know why they're always right-handed. I'm assuming it's easier to code that way. But they're always holding it right-handed. That means their right hand's on the trigger, their left hand's being their stabilizer. If your left hand is about 2.5 centimeters away from the wall, making that edge of that wall lined up straight to your wrist on your left hand character, then you will be perfectly out of sight of an enemy that is head glitching at the other head glitch. In turn, you will force them to break their line of sight, right? They will be no longer safe behind that cover, okay? Because you're literally blocking the majority of your body. They might be able to see about 1/2 inch of your head, maybe enough if they're running an assault rifle or sniper to pick you off, maybe, but those are so minuscule odds that you find a player that has that type of knowledge you shouldn't have to worry about for a long time, right? So in this particular situation, you're still not able to see them, right? I still can't see them behind the cover, but that means they can't see me. So what that does give me, it gives me the ability to wait. If you wait about 30 milliseconds, maybe a little more, those characters will either make 2 decisions. Push or run. If they push you, you better hope you can aim, because you will kill them. As long as you can hit targets, you will kill them. They will die. If they run, I would say wait a second or two. If they don't push, unless you're going to be holding this angle the whole match, don't stay here for more than 5 or 6 seconds. Okay, mainly this area is to look over, peek, push back left. And the main goal here, especially if you spawn on this side of the map, you don't want to stay here, right? At the beginning of the match, what I like to do is try to gun it for the junkyard. If you're not confident that you can take control of junkyard, then I recommend running flash grenades, flashing that junkyard for people like me to push in. Allow the guys who are willing to push into junkyard to push in, and then support them. When you see them past this point here. Now, there's two different strategies to pushing junkyard. There's the I'm an idiot, I'm dumb, and I'm bad at the game option. Or there's an option of intelligence in someone who is not dumb and not stupid and not bad at the game. They're very simple options. Don't be this guy, okay? Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy, okay? Pushing in a junkyard, aiming everywhere, walking around like he's on a fucking prairie trip or something with his school, and he's like, you know, he's just checking out the surroundings. Like, don't be that guy, okay? When you're pushing in a junkyard, be fucking aggressive. Aggressive is your number one answer. Joff and dive, slide, get behind this van. Because this van is slightly bulletproof. It is bulletproof on the edges of the steel. So you can see here, these two signs are not bulletproof. Do not stand behind these two signs, okay? But these little edges and the bottom half of the van are bulletproof, okay? And what this means is when you stop and have a slide, if you stay laying down, not only are you safe from side bullets, but they cannot hit you through the windows. Meaning whoever is hiding has to then either push you or try to outweight you, okay? Now, depending on the player, you can do both. You can either wait or you can be aggressive. If you're going to be aggressive, try to slide into the truck, peek the truck hard, and force them to then leave behind the truck to cover. Because this truck is going to be your ultimate spawn beacon for holding the map as a longevity. Because the longer you want to hold the map, the more you need to hold this truck. Okay, I've seen games of Shoe House on domination where I've run late and the team is losing 160 to 1. Okay, they're getting absolutely fucking demolished. I hop in the lobby, hop behind this truck, and guess what? We turn that game around and win it 200 to 160. They barely even won. Okay, so it's really about understanding this position of this truck, because this truck not only allows you to control the right side of the map spawn, the left side of the map spawn, but it also controls the middle of the map. No one can progress on the left side of the map. They're going to be stuck either in their spawn, your spawn, or the middle. And again, the middle is not a great place to be stuck. There is a second place in this map if you control can be a game changer, and that is upstairs in the upstairs half of the map. But again, not a great place to be, because eventually someone's going to figure out how to kill you. Unlike the truck, where even if they know how to kill you, as long as you're accurate and you're being aware and you're using your brains, you will still control the situation. Because this truck is not bulletproof, but it is bulletproof. You may be confused. The back of the truck is bulletproof. The front is not. This hood is not bulletproof. You can get shot through this hood. So don't hide behind the hood. If you're going to be at front of the truck, lay down. Lay down right here behind this tire well, enough that your left hand is a little bit out from the car and your gun is able to point straight. As long as you do this, you will be a harder target to see. And you can do the same thing on the right-hand side, too. You can lay down. I like to do this sometimes if I'm running by myself. So if I'm running as a solo, I don't have a team, and my randoms are really dog shit, and I'm being pushed from all sides, I like to lay down here because it's really, really hard to see you from the right-hand side. And so when you do get, when they do see you or they die to you, they're not going to be able to give you their teammates the exact placement of your position, because normally you would say behind the truck, but technically I'm not behind the truck. I'm more of next to it. So they're going to come around that corner thinking you're standing, and then hopefully by then you can stand up and turn and shoot, or you'll be like doing some fancy movement and you'll be able to catch them off guard when they're looking for your head. That is the best strategy for pushing junkyard. If you were pushing junkyard and you go past the van but behind it instead of in front of it to the truck, and you continue pressing past the truck, you will die. You will. I will kill you. I promise that. Do not leave this truck unprotected. Okay? Must have a player behind this truck at all points on the Shoe House. This isn't like the early 2000s where you could play a map differently, and even if someone was camping, you could find a way to kill him. This truck does determine the match. Okay? Simple as that. It's really, 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 really simple. Now, let's push on to the next spawn. You see this SUV? Do not get close to this SUV ever. This SUV is bad. No SUV. This SUV explodes. not only does it explode, but it is completely shootable through. So even if you're hiding behind that, if they have a FMJ on their gun, you are screwed. They will kill you. Do not stand behind the SUV. If it's exploded, you could use this as a peeking to get into junkyard. I like to sit on top of it sometimes and peek over the yellow like caution name tag, whatever this is supposed to be. But you can use that as an option to peek over and see if there's someone there. Now, again, keep in mind, if you do this, you can probably see from the video that you can't really see the other spawn too well. This is what happens if there's someone sniping on the other spawn. You don't want to be up here because you can just be sniped straight from the other spawn because they can see you and you can't see them. Now behind here is going to be your best strategy for clearing this. I believe this is C spawn, because C spawn's a really interesting spawn. So you can see here, so this is shootable through, sort of. So this is, you can shoot through the edges a little bit, but the main itself is not shootable through. This is, again, just like the other spawn on the opposite side. This is not shootable through completely. So you can hide behind this, use this to rotate from C circle around, hit C circle again, and continue that process back and forth. Same side as the other side, this little head glitch right here. Now, I would say this is probably the easiest one of them all to defend, because it's really hard to push this without someone knowing you're pushing. So from that left side or this right side. As a middle, there's not really a way to sneak up. But when you're pushing around from this back side, what you want to do is pop around, come through here, but hug the wall. So that way, anyone that's coming from the opposite side of the spawn, okay, they can't look across and be like, oh, there's Bill. We don't like Bill. Let's kill Bill. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, we want to stay next to the wall. What allows is the guys also in the spawn directly on our left-hand side of this wall will not see us when they come out, giving you the option to get quad feeds, triples, collats, anything you could possibly dream of will be just pouring out of this area for you. Depends, again, if the players are aggressive or not. If they're a less aggressive player, they're obviously not going to be as harder to kill. If they're more aggressive, they may jump around this corner and twist, which is what I do sometimes if I'm spawning in mid-game. But again, this is the best way to kind of clear out this left side of the map. And when you come around this corner, you just want to peek. For the most part, people can't really hide that well in these corners, so you'll see them pretty easily. Then over here, this is probably the most frustrating place to peek, especially on hardpoint, because they can hide in these like light, shady areas, and it can get pretty stealthy in these corners. But you can also sort of get on top of this area a little bit. It's very fidgety, but you can see right here, I can get on top of this. So you'll see a lot of times people peeking up here on a hard point, and this can be very dangerous for a player if you're pushing from this little tunnel. So the best strategy to push this is just to be aggressive. If you die, you die. There is no one strategy to pushing this side. The best strategy is just to know it. If you know it's a pain in the ass, just stay away from it. Really, I try to stay away from this angle, honestly. But if you see me play the game, a lot of times I will either go upstairs and come back down and around, or I'll just completely go the opposite side of the map, okay? Or I'll cut through the middle, because it's just not worth over here. There's too many kids hiding, and this area is really bad with shotguns. So you'll see a lot of shotguns like this, the 725 or the full auto shotties with shields on their backs. They really like this side of the map because it plays really well for them. So not always your best strategy. Sometimes it's better just to push somewhere else. Now, so the next half is going to be upstairs. So there's two different entries and exits to the upstairs. Well, actually, there's technically three. But the third, it's not the best strategy because it's going to leave you very exposed. But the first strategy is to push up these stairs. Now, when you're pushing up these stairs, you want to be slow. Okay, methodorous, whatever, you all know what I mean. You can push up these stairs. I recommend going slow by crouching, okay? You can push this. This will give you the advantage of peeking whoever's up here. If you run up, your head's going to be exposed from the people on top of the stairs about 20 milliseconds before you actually see the top of the stairs, okay? Because remember, your character's camera is actually lower than their head, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? In order for your character to fit right with your gun on your character, and your gun's not all the way, you know, at the fucking ground, and it's not all the way up the top of your, you know, above your skull. It's got to be right in the middle. And so your camera is actually lower middle of your body. So it's around your, where your chin and neck would, your neck and chin would be. Which means you have about, what, a foot of head of your skull just sticking up above your gun, right, above your camera. So keep that in mind when you're progressing things, that you're going to have a little bit of head that it's going to pop up before your gun does. Which is oftentimes why you get sniped off head glitches here on Shoe House or other maps that have head glitches, and you're like, you crouch up to them and then you pop up and you die somehow, and you're like, how the fuck did I die? It's because your head popped up before your gun did. So when you stood up, you just said, hi, I'm here, please shoot me, I want to die. So they can see your head popping up way before their character's gun is. So that's why crouching is a little better, because now you're moving your head down to the same level as the stairs. So when your head does pop up, you're kind of already there. Okay, you're already looking above the stairs. Now, progressing through the stairs, this door is shootable. Okay. Now, one thing to do is they do often put claymores or trip mines at the door. Almost every type of explosive trip mine in the game you can survive by laying down. But it also can help sometimes to just run through them. It's kind of counterproductive, you'd say, because you die. Yes, you'll die. But what you do is move them from watching a different angle. If they're watching another angle and you spawn, you die through the trip mine or whatever, either they're going to stop looking at that angle to come place another trip mine, which gives you time to spawn in and run to the other entrance and get a head start, pushing the next entrance. Or they continue to look at the other entrance and they don't place another trip mine, and it gives you enough time to come back and go through the door without any interruptions from them whatsoever. So if you can disarm this, if you can shoot the trap, or you can, let's say it's a, what is it, the trip mines that you can lay under, if you can do that, do it. That's great. But if it's claymore or something, just eat the claymore sometimes. If you're on a streak, obviously don't eat the claymore. But if you're not on a streak and you're just trying to get them out of this damn little bitch-ass spot, eat that claymore. Eat it like a damn piece of pie. Eat that shit, okay? And then just come back and do it again. Majority of times, players will not have a spare claymore for the majority of the time, because, especially if they're camping. So once you get dealt with the claymore and you push in this room, there's no simple way to say it. This room is just fucked in every possible way. So they could be in this corner, which means they can see you behind the sign, and you won't be able to see them because that back to the sign kind of blocks your vision. Or they'll be standing here, laying down here. They could be laying down at this doorway. They could be mounted on this doorway. Or they could be laying down like this at the edge of the doorway, and you can barely see them. Or, even worse, they can be over here in this head glitch. There's not a fun way to push this, okay? Pushing this 50% of the time will cause death, which is why I like to push the other side, because it's a little bit easier. There's less areas for them to kind of aim at you from, and you can be a little more aggressive from the opposite side. So let's go from the other side and see what it's like pushing that side. So there is two different ways over here you can push, and one of them is good. One of the other ones is not great because you expose yourself a lot. So say I'm pushing from A spawn over here, and I'm like, hey, there's a fuckboy in there, but then he's distracted for some reason, and I want to push him. Well, I don't want to do the stairs because I'm fat and I'm lazy, and I don't want to do stairs because that's for skinny people to do. So you can run over here, run on top of this crate. There's two options. Window 1, window 2. Window 1 is probably going to be the easiest of the two to make. You can make window 1 almost 100% of the time. Window 2 is a lot harder to hit. The only benefit of hitting window 2 is that if you do make it inside, you are closer to the head glitch, so you can use to eliminate the enemies inside. So here's window 1. You're boom, you're in, you shoot. This is window 2. I probably will fail this first time. Who knows? Let's see. Well, nope, I got it first time. So yeah, so that's how you want to do window 1. You kind of want to get a little bit of a head start on that crate, and once you're in, you want to immediately crouch down, aim, and then repeat again once you're aiming. So you have the ADS advantage. If they are pushing you, when they see you jump in, lay down, slide out, and shoot. Okay, it's really, really simple. Now, The doorway is a little different. The doorway is a little bit easier to push. So when you come up here, most times the door is going to be closed. Sometimes people put the claymore on the inside of the door. Sometimes they put it on the outside. Just keep an eye again out for the claymores or the trip mines. Just take 2 seconds to stop, look, process, continue, okay? Once you're up here, you're going to realize this door is narrow, okay? There's not a lot of room. So what I like to do is if the door is closed, I'll take my time, I'll lay down, because if the radar pings you, they can just shoot through this door. This door is completely not bulletproof, okay? They can shoot straight through it. But they are not going to be, their brain is literally not possible enough to recognize if you're laying down or you're standing up, because the radar does not dictate that. Their brain is going to auto-assume that you're standing up or you're crouched. So if you come around this corner and lay down flat, and if they see you, they can shoot through the door, they'll hit the wall, and they'll be fucking confused on how the fuck they're not hitting you. In that time, you can either slam open the door or open it normally, and you can shoot your target, okay? The only place that could be hiding that could cause issues is that little, like, metal rack bed. But you can shoot through that pretty much. Now, you can also do it if the door is open. So once the door is open now, you can also do it another way. When you come up the door, you can jump, or you can kind of crouch run almost. It's a weird combination, but basically moving your character forward as you crouch and kind of slide in almost. That is another option too. Keep that in mind when you're pushing that building, that obviously someone's going to be camping in here. If you're pushing it that way, it's going to be a high chance you'll get shot by someone camping. Just predetermine their positions if you can. Toss splashes, toss smokes or something in there to kind of give yourself a little bit of a boost when you get in there. Now, this right-hand side of the map is really kind of easy to push. Use the crates as cover, kind of peek around this corner. You can see all the way back to the enemy spawn, push in, check your left and rights, kind of make sure they're clear, and you continue pushing in, and you're back in your lovely spawns. Now, there's where I'm going to need the boys at, okay? Come back here to your original spawn, my brothers. So I want one of you guys to stand right here, and I want you, the next one, to stand like right here behind this wall, okay? So say I'm coming from the right-hand side of the map, and I need to clear this spawn, okay? You can see here, just from me standing right here at the edge of this door frame, I can see one of them from spawn, right? So if I come around this corner, I can go, boom. It's a little laggy, because, you know, my internet is complete dog shit today. But you can see I killed one. But uh-oh, I see 2 enemy players, but there's no other one. Well, where is he? Well, he's behind the cover, because the other spawn is a little bit blocked by that little, like, hut. And obviously he's going to be moving around, but not moving around a whole lot because he's coming out of his spawn. So with best strategy, like I said before, come around this wall, hug it. You can come out of your spawn now. And come out of your spawn, hug this wall, peek, and he's dead before he even knows what's happening. Okay? Use that to your advantage, because moment of surprises are going to win you firefights every single time. So now they're coming out of the other spawn. Well, now you got to run around the corner, come over here, push through. Now, middle's going to be weird. Now, just mute the video if you have to, and just watch this as I move through the middle of the map. Very simple, like a snake. Very simple, like a snake. Okay? Very, very, very simple. Using the little bit of cover you have, you want to slide. Sliding is important, all right? It's not slide canceling. It's not that crazy shit, but it's very simple, just geometry and knowledge of how movements are, okay? You know you have so many feet in front of you. You need to make that feet come as quickly as possible towards you. Slide. You don't want to run, because running just leaves your body straight out. You're running, your gun's going to be up in the air when you're running, and it's not going to be out aiming, which causes anyone shooting at you, you're not going to be able to stop and shoot back. Very, very, very bad. So what you want to do is slide. Slide to every ounce of corner. Now, obviously, what I do there is not going to be as easy as it would be for, say, if it was in a full lobby, because there's going to be other players doing other things. There'll be explosions, short streaks, objectives. But you can practice this on your own. You can get really, really good at moving in this area, and this will cause it to be a little bit easier for you when you're trying to move around the map, because obviously you're not going to want to be inside the map in the middle all that often, okay? That's something you don't want. I also forgot to mention this earlier. You can get up on here. A lot of people don't know you can get up on here. This is a really good spot to take out snipers or people that are glitching that backside if they're out peeking it really hard. But other than that, that's pretty much the video, man. I know I wanted to go over some more spawns, but I think that this video is already like almost 40 minutes long, it feels like, so I'm not going to make it too longer. So that's pretty much Shoot House and kind of how to control a map. Your most important thing you want to know when you're controlling a map is don't push yourself too far, okay? Don't spawn trap. And I know it's kind of counterproductive because back in the day, especially when War II, for example, when I did this series originally, I was talking about spawn trapping hard. But the games have changed, okay? Call of Duty as a whole's mechanics have changed. The players have changed. The guns, the maps, the modes. Everything has changed or altered in some form, right? So don't push yourself to an extent where you cannot continue that type of play style for very long. Don't overwhelm your team too. Keep in mind that your team are not going to be as good as you, okay? After you're done watching this entire series, your team will now be lesser than you, okay? They will be less good than you. So keep that in mind when you're playing. You're going to be better. You're going to know more. You're going to understand more. You're going to be able to break it down better. Those regular teammates are not going to be capable of doing that. So keep that in mind. You don't want to hold a spawn because teammates are going to get pissed at you because they're not getting kills or they're not getting enough kills. Or they're getting pissed that you're not playing the objective, and they're going to try to sabotage you. I've had that happen way too often than you would believe, okay, with teammates sabotaging, and that is giving out information to teammate enemies or just flat out being in my way when I'm trying to continuously hold the spawn. So keep that in mind. So maybe not spawn trap enemies. Give them chances to push out of their spawn. You know, get in their spawn, fuck with them a little bit, get a couple feeds, pull back, let them out. Then push back in again. Pull back out, okay? Just like how the ocean pushes in a wave and then it pulls it back out again. Just like a tsunami, okay? And a tsunami, the reason it's so powerful and large is because the ocean forces all the water out into the ocean, pulling it back into it. Then it pulls it all the way back into the you know, wherever you're at, like you get the beach or an island or whatever. And then that water then recedes and pulls back again, and everything goes back to normal. And that motion of pull back, pull forth, pull back, pull forth, pull back, that is a continuous motion, almost an equilibrium. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're controlling the map, that you have to be able to sustain that type of hold the entire time. Okay, that is pretty much the gist of map control. Again, there's probably different things for different maps, so you could technically, I could do 100 videos on every single map, but I feel like I've given at least the tools here for you guys to be able to figure it out. I think the part of getting good at COD is partially figuring it out on your own and learning, almost self-teaching in a way, because I can't teach you everything. I can teach you the bare minimums, just like your teacher can't teach you every single mathematical problem, but they can give you the tools to figure out mathematical problems on your own, right? They don't teach you how to count to 1,000,000. They give you the options to count to, say, 1,000 or 100,000, and then you can go and count to 1,000,000 with the numbers you have now earned. So thank you for watching this video, man. Again, there'll be the first video will be up here on the right or left side of the screen. It'll be a link to the video, as well as my link tree down below. Check out Community app. I have over 20 plus builds, MW2 and MW3 builds down there, as well as more coming soon. With that being said, guys, I love you guys. You're one of a kind, beautiful, until last video. It's been your boy. Also, shout out to the boys, Bando and Ellie, for helping with the video. Love y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.